All right. What's going on, everybody? This is Glenn Monroe here, the Roman Gnome, and once again, we're in the Ozarks. God's Garden is, well, the homesteaders and the locals that have been here for longer than a day or two, I would call it. And thank you for joining me today. I have a few minutes I want to share with you about some basic common sense approaches to what I like to call old school. See, this is some old school principles, like my hammock. That's what I want to talk to you about. We've got a canopy right here, a little bit of a tarp going on up here, right? And simplicity and common, well, things that you can find usually around your house, in your community. If you're from the area where I'm from, there's a lot of textile garments. As you can see, my hammock here is probably nothing more than a sheet, right? Which is what it is. It's a sheet called a linen, and I got a couple toggles. This is how I usually spend my day, taking a nap when I get a little tired of all that back behind me. But the whole point of this is to get you off the ground, keep you out of the rain, and it's fall, so in a few weeks, what more than likely is going to happen, the temperature is going to drop, and it's going to start raining. It's going to start raining a lot. And we can't be sleeping on the ground. So common sense would dictate to you basically just through necessity, natural necessity, that hey, I need to get off the ground and I need to get out of the rain. So just this two piece right here, basically, like I said, we have a tarp. This would have been originally a canopy. And this piece right here that I'm sitting on top of, this piece right here, would have been probably made out of the same material, which would have probably been hemp. I've been to several of the museums and talked to some of the elders that still live here, that came back from the 1700s, 1800s era that lived here. And a lot of our products that we used here were made out of hemp. Our tarps, our tents, our clothing, our cordage, a lot of other materials for food, beverages, and hygiene. We also had domestic utilities, which means domestic utilization, like tools. This would have been probably made out of hemp of something. This could have been made out of possibly hemp, wool, flax, tweed, cotton. I'm not really sure about that because that was more of a different area. But as you can see, we have basically a two-piece principle. We have cordage, we have cover, and then right here, this garment material is also going to probably be something that you can put over top of you. So I've took some other video footage of this, some close-ups and things like that, but I wanted to basically talk to you guys out there about, you got a cover, you have your cordage, right? String it up between two trees. It starts to rain. You want to take a nap? There you go. That's it. This didn't take me but about 20 minutes, 30 minutes to put up. No big deal. But yeah, I wanted to share with you that. This is pretty much how I do it when I'm traveling or just around the... But a lot of people say that I live in a camp. I live on a farm. It was a homestead. A lot of homesteaders here, and they were forced to pay revenue tax, even though it wasn't a law or anything. They were just forced to do it for some strange reason. And a lot of them got ran off. Some of them got killed for not paying their taxes. But when we used to travel around, a lot of us that were fortunate enough to have canopy material, tarpy material, cordage, there was a bunch of us that didn't have anything. And so what I want to share with you today is some more modern style of how I would I came across some material that how you could probably do something similar to what we did back in the day. Like I said, this is a linen, stretched between, has 2 toggles wrapped around it. Between, just long enough. I'm about 5'6", and I have paracord on here because I came across that. So basically we have a cover, which is the tarp. We got cordage. We have this other piece, which probably more than likely would be used as a cover. It's a linen, and I recommend something in green, because if it gets cold and it's sunny, it'll draw heat. It'll draw heat to your to the sheeting material, and it'll warm you up without really having to, you know, so you can conserve your energy for something else probably more important. But green draws heat. Darker color clothes, if you're using, you know, during the winter time and the sun's out, it will draw heat and help you warm your body up. So that's why I usually use, you'll see me wearing browns and greens all year round, because, you know, you can blend in. I'm not trying to stick out, because I don't want really nobody bothering me unless you're invited. And I don't want to scare the animals, and like I said, I don't want to draw attention to myself. But if it becomes wintertime or something, I also want to be able to, you know, draw a little bit of heat onto my body, so I can spend my resources on something else. Because if you're somewhere where it's wintertime, more than likely, chances are you're probably not going to have access to a lot of food, and your body's going to burn up a lot of energy trying to generate heat. So that's important. But anyhow, I wanted to share with you this basic little setup that I use, and it's pretty easy. You know how I do it. So I got, for all you out there, that's basically this is just a big oversized toggle. That's all it is. See, I have it wrapped around there. It just wrapped around at one time. There's no knots. This has been folded over in a you know, organized fashion, nice and neat. And you pull between the two, right? This is a regular linen. You can get these anywhere. I don't know if you can get them in green. I got this one from, I believe, a type of a, what they call a thrift store. I didn't pay anything for it. They throw these away. It was in a package. Then you're going to see, here's the other toggle. And yeah, hopefully it doesn't damage the tree. That's the whole part. We don't want to ruin the cambrium. But that's how I got it on there. You can pull the cord real quick, and then you're done. It'll come right off. You got your line up here between the 2 trees. I recommend about 12 foot, if you know how to pace off a 12-foot distance. See, there's the distance between the 2 trees. You got your ridge line running through there. I keep my cordage usually about all one length, usually a 20. I think that's a 50 foot. That one back there's a 50 foot, and the top one I think I'm running a 20 foot. But yeah, I usually leave them in big pieces like that. So I hope this guy, this little guys helps you out. So I get the 2 words confused sometimes. Guys actually means set up, like a disguise. So yeah, as you can see, get in it. Just fold the sheet in half. It's pretty rudimentary. That's pretty much it. I mean, I don't know if you guys know how to do cordage or can knots or anything, but I'm sure I'll hear something about it. But how I usually do it, back in the day when I was younger, this would have been great, but I didn't know anything about that. I had to come across this pretty much on my own. And so you basically have, what I'm going to tell you is, one more time, basically what you have is you have your cover, get you out of the rain, keep you out of the sun, keep your stuff dry. If anything falls, you know, from the heavens, gives you ability to also catch rain. You can put your bowl back behind there and catch you some rainwater. This item right here, more than likely you're probably going to be wearing that as a throw, you know, as a cape, throw over. We call them throw overs. You're usually going to be taking a couple toggles with you anyway, about that size, because you might want to have to be able to start a fire. So you're going to have a couple sticks. That's pretty normal, right? Having a stick or two with you. You have cordage. That's pretty normal, right? So you're going to have your cover to keep you warm. You're going to be wearing that. You can use it as a pack if it gets too hot. Put all your stuff in there. Wrap all your gizmos up. If you're traveling like I do, you probably won't have very much stuff. So basically what we have is a linen sheet. I think this is a 2, 4, 6, 8, probably 8 by 10. No, it's 8 by 8. Oh, it's a 6 by 8. That's what it is, a 6 by 8 tarp. And got a couple strands of paracord that I found in the dumpster behind a surplus store. That's pretty much it. I mean, but the whole idea is something simple to get you off the ground. Tarps are pretty important, even though it's not a big one. The animal's going to start traveling south soon. So what that means is if you decide to stay up north during the winter time, you can be putting yourself in some serious risk if you're not used to it. A lot of folks I know usually do something called, they go south, they follow the geese. We call that snowbirding. Snowbirds. They'll actually travel south for the winter. It just seems a lot wiser, because the geese are doing that. A lot of the birds do that. And then a lot of the folks that do try to stay here, they use a lot of resources up that, well, they don't really need to, because they're sedentary. They're staying somewhere, same place. So, but if you do intend to travel, you can probably do this without hardly anything, but this is pretty much a minimal setup. Like I said, this right here is probably going to be used to carry as in your pack. This will probably be your garment that you're going to be wearing anyway, like a throw over. Especially if you're from the old school like I am. This doesn't weigh nothing. Couple rolls of cordage. Doesn't weigh anything. Carried around in a little pack like this. I mean, that doesn't weigh nothing, man. I had this thing full with that and that. Because you're going to be wearing that. More likely you'll be wearing this. And your items, you're only going to have 5 items. A water bottle, maybe a knife, and a little pack with some fire gear in there. I mean, what are we taking with us? We're traveling where the weather's supposed to be pretty decent, right? We're not going to be taking with us a 80-pound backpack. Why would we be taking that with us? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you take that with you when you're going to go travel someplace when the weather is supposed to be, you know, the animals are going there. You mean to tell me the geese are smarter than you? And they're starting to fly at night now because they don't want to get shot at. I mean, they're not that dumb. It's like, well, we'll just fly at night. Nobody will shoot us. The traffic, there ain't so much traffic either. So, but as far as what we got going on, like I said, as far as what I need, I live here in the Ozarks. Like I said, I'm in the forested area. We have a lot of rain. Get snow here. We just get a variety of weather. So we need to have a cover, and this is a cover because remember, you get cover, blanket. But I don't want to use my blanket. This would be something you can pretty much get anywhere. This is, like I said, it's a linen. Usually, they usually have something called a queen or a king size linen. You can get those all over the place. Even a small one will work. Just fold it in half and run your cords through the end where the toggle's at. Very simple, no knots. There is no knots in any of my cords at all, because I'm not very good at tying knots. So I like knots that don't knot up. For some reason, I like knots that don't have knots, because I just don't have the patience to untie a knot. Plus, I can't really see to untie them, so I don't tie knots. Does that make sense? I mean, if you tie things, yeah, no bindings. I guess this would be a binding, wouldn't it? I don't like knots. Everything I do is all loose and slippy. So anyhow, we'll give you another little look at this, and then I'll quit talking. But I thought I'd share this with you because I haven't posted anything serious in a while, and this is pretty serious because this will keep you out of the rain. This will keep you out of the rain. You got your place to, take a nap. So you got something you would probably be wearing, using as a pack. You can put your gear in there, throw it over your shoulder, get on down the road. You'd have your cordage. Like I said, you got a couple little deals there. You'd have your cover, right? So you have a tarp, a linen sheet, a little pack or something if you want to carry that, or whatever you can find. It don't have to be fancy. But I thought, as me being the minimalist that I am, it's like, well, that's pretty common. Those sheets are common. I mean, they're all over the place. And I mean, there's warehouses full of those. Now, you don't have to spend a lot on a hammock. I've seen people trying to go out here, I got to get a hammock. I went to go look at a hammock, and it was like $120 for a hammock. We don't need a hammock. That's $120 because, we have to do all this weird stuff to... Then this would be something because you can just use that. No problem. But as far as all the other little weird stuff you got to do, it's just wrapped around there once, and then I looked it around. Oh, shit. I thought I was going to get away with a perfect video. I guess I'm not. Anyhow, you see how I got this. Oh, my backpack's in the way. And you just wrap it around there 3 times, tie it off, and look, it's no knot, it's a bow. Just undo it. You'll live. Okay, so that's not too technical, is it? Something you guys can't understand out there, guys and gals? Fakers and shakers. But the reason why I wanted to bring this to your attention is we're fixing to have some rain come in through here, and it's going to get cold. We might have to go travel. Let me get this right here. There we go. Here. Okay. The reason why I wanted to bring this to your attention is it's going to rain, it's going to get cold, and there's possible some thunderstorms coming through here, and we might have to move around. And when it starts to rain, you can't be on the ground. So this is how you get up off the ground. You keep yourself from getting wet. Doesn't weigh anything. It's real simple to put together. And I hope that gives you some ideas, or maybe leads you in the right direction. Because some of this can start, if you actually have to use